Rahim. Welcome to the quantity survey course. In this lecture, we will discuss the long wall and short wall method in detail and we will calculate the quantities of one room by using long wall and short wall method. Here you will see we will calculate the excavation in foundation. We require how much excavation we required, concrete in foundation, brickwork in foundation, and plinth and brickwork in superstructure above the plinth level. So we will calculate these all things. Here I want to show you the room. This is the room of 5 meter by 4 meter, 5 meter horizontal and 4 meter vertical, and the width of the wall is breadth of the wall is 0.30 meter is the breadth of the wall. These two walls are long wall having more length, and these are the two short walls. This is the we are calculating the quantities of just one room by long wall and short wall method. I do not want to confuse you people, so that's why I just selected a room. In another lecture we will discuss the whole building by long wall and short wall method. This is the section view of the room. This is the section view of the room. Here the excavation 0.9 meter depth and so on. We will read out all this. Let's start our topic. So this is the room 5 meter by 4 meter and the breadth of the wall is 0.30 meter. So first, details of measurement calculation of quantities. This is the sheet on which we calculate the quantities and their prices by long wall and short wall method. Here in first column we just write the serial number of different items and their item description in the next column, like excavation in foundation, long wall, short wall, concrete in foundation, brickwork in foundation, and plinth. So in next column we do the just write the number of walls, number of footings. Here you can see, okay, and next column is for length, breadth, and height. Finally we calculate the quantities in this column and then calculate the rate of by multiplying the rate of the required item with their quantities to calculate the prices of the items. Here we wrote the notes about the description notes about our calculations. So let's start. First we have to calculate excavation required in foundation. So excavation in foundation, long wall, we are having a two long wall. Here you can see one this and other one is this, and the breadth of wall is 0.3 meter and excavation breadth is 0.9 meter. So we have in long wall we have two walls, two number of walls. Length we will calculate here. You will see in notes description. Length 5.30 plus 0.90 is equal to 6.20. This is the formula to calculate the breadth length of the long wall. Here our room, let me show you. This is the room 5. We go from the center to center of the wall. 0.15 is included from this side. Total is 0.30. So we go from center to center. This is the long wall. So 0.15 is added from this side, from this to this, and 0.15 is added from this to this. So it become 5.30. 5.30 and plus this is the formula. We add the one breadth. Here one breadth is 0.9 meter. total excavation breadth of the wall. Total excavation at the bottom breadth of the wall is 0.9, so add 1 breadth. This is the formula. Length, to calculate the length, first inner side length 5 meter, then the center to center wall length, we add them 0.15 and 0.15, it becomes 5.30 plus 1 breadth 0.90, it give us 6.20. Let me calculate it on the calculator. Here you will see 5 plus 0.15 from one side, we are going calculating from center to center, then 0, sorry, 5.30, no, 5 plus 0.15 plus 0.15, so it's become 5.30 plus 1 breadth. 1 breadth of the excavation is 0.9, we add 1 breadth, 6.20 meter, so here it is. So our length is 6.20 and breadth of the long wall is, for the excavation you can see here, this is the section view. One breadth is 0.9 meter, so breadth is 0.9 meter, and the height for this you can see here, height for excavation is 0.3, 0.3 and 0.3. This is the ground level, so we have to excavate 0.3 meter, 0.3 meter plus 0.3, it becomes 0.9 meter. This is the ground level, so it becomes height or depth becomes 0.9 meter, 0.9 meter, and then we calculate the quantity. Let me calculate it on the calculator. We are calculating long wall. We are having the length 6.2, multiply it with the breadth 0.9, then multiply it with the height depth 0.9. So it will give us, that's wrong again. So we are having a length 6.2, multiply with the breadth 0.9, multiply with the depth 0.9, so we are having a 5.022 quantity for one wall, but we are having two wall. Here you can see two long walls, so we will multiply it with the 2, it will give us 10.04. Here you can see 10.04 is the quantity of two long wall. This is the excavation quantity, and then for short wall we will calculate it here. We are having a two short walls and the length is 4.30, 15 meter, 0.15 meter from this side, 0.15 meter from this side, 4.30 length. To calculate the length, we, for short wall, to calculate the length, actual length we are having of 4.30, but we do the menace of subtraction of one breadth. In short wall we do the subtraction of this one breadth. In long wall we add this one breadth, but in short wall we just do the subtraction of this one breadth. So by subtracting 4.30 actual length minus subtracting the one breadth 0.9, it will give us 3.40 meter. Let me calculate it on the calculator. Here you will see 4.30 4.30 minus subtracting one breadth is 0.90. 1 minute. 4.3 minus 0.9, 3.4. We are having 3.4 meter, 3.4 meter length. Then breadth is 0.9 meter. We are actually calculating the excavation required for foundation. So breadth is 0.9 meter and height is 0.9 meter. Here is the ground level here. So 0.30 plus 0.3 plus 0.3. So height we required is 0.9 meter. So height required 0.9 meter. So let me calculate the quantity of excavation required for short wall. This is short wall 3.4 meter length, multiply with the breadth 0.9, multiply with the height 0.9, then multiply it with the 2 because we are having two short walls. So it will give us 5.51 round about this digit. This will become 1. So it will give us 5.51 cubic meter. So let me add long wall quantity for excavation and short wall quantity for excavation. This is short wall quantity for excavation and plus long wall 10.04. So it will give us 15.55. Here you can see 15.55. So we just calculated the excavation required for the foundation of the long wall and the short wall. We just calculated it. Next we will calculate the concrete required in foundation. So here we have to do concreting up to this level 0.3 meter. We have to do concreting up to the depth of 0.3 meter from here to here, and the depth of and the breadth of 0.9 meter. Here we will do concreting. So let me calculate the concreting required for long wall and short wall. As we know that we are having two long wall and two short walls. So concrete in foundation, as we already calculated the length required. How did we calculate the length? 5 inside length and then center to center 0.15 from this side, 0.15 from this side, it becomes 5.3, and then this is the formula that we add one breadth from the foundation. So we add one breadth 0.9 meter. This will give us 6.2, and in short wall we just subtract the one breadth, so it will give us 3.40, which we already calculated the length of these two walls. So let me calculate the concrete required in the foundation. As we know that breadth is 0.9 meter, where we have to do the concreting here, and the height we required for concreting is from this to this end, it is 0.3 meter. So let me calculate it on the calculator for long wall and short wall concrete required. Concrete in foundation, long wall. Here you will see we are having the length of the long wall 6.20 multiplied with the breadth 0.9, then multiplied with the height 0.3. So it will give us 1.674, then multiply it with 2 because we are having two long walls of the room. So it will give us 3.35 round about this digit. It will give us 3.35 cubic meter concrete required in long wall. So let's go for short wall. 3.40 is the length, then multiplied with the breadth 0.9, here you can see 0.9, then multiply it with the height depth 0.3, then multiply it with the 2 because we are having two short walls, so it will give us 1.84. Here you can see 1.84. so add both of these quantities of long wall and short wall required concreting plus long wall 3.35. so total will require 1.8 cubic meter concreting in the foundation. So this is how we calculate it. Next we will calculate the brickwork in foundation and plinth. As we are now calculating the brickwork in foundation and plinth, so first we will calculate the brickwork for the long wall, and then we calculate first footing, then second footing, then plinth wall. Here you can see this is the first footing, then second footing, then this is the plinth level. So let me calculate it. Brickwork required for long wall, first footing. As we know that we are having two long walls, so we number are 2, and then in length column we will add the length required for the first footing. For first footing we know that our long wall length is 5.30. we add one breadth in the long wall to make the length, actual length, so we add the one breadth. Here we are here in the first step. In first step breadth is 0.6 meter, so we will add the one breadth of 0.6 meter in length of the long wall. 5.30 plus 0.60, it will give us 5.90. let me calculate it on the calculator. Here you will see we are having 5.30 length of the wall plus one breadth. This is we calculating the brickwork in first footing. So first step we divided the steps. In first step we add the one breadth of the first step is 0.6, so it will give the 5.9 meter. So our length for first step is first footing is 0.5.90. then breadth is, as we know that breadth in the section, we can see in the section breadth for first footing is 0.6 meter, and the height for this is first footing height is 0.3 meter. So let me calculate the quantity for long wall brickwork. For long wall brickwork in first footing, here we will do, as we know that we are working on brickwork in foundation and plinth. First footing length is 5.90, then multiply it with the breadth 0.6, then multiply it with the height 0.3, then multiply it with the 2 because we are having a two long walls, so it will give us 2.12 cubic meter of brickwork required for first footing of the long wall. Then the second footing we have, you can calculate it as we already did. The second footing having the breadth of 0.5 meter. Here you can see this is the first footing, this is the second footing having the breadth of 0.5 meter. So 0.5 meter, we will add the actual length of the wall is, you can see 5 meter, 0.15 meter, 0.15 meter. From this side we go from the center to center, this is 5.30 meter length of the long wall, and then we add the one breadth. We are in the second footing, we add this breadth 0.5 meter and the height is 0.3 meter. So we add to calculate the length of the second footing, we add 5.30 plus one breadth. We are having the one breadth of the second footing is 0.50, it will give us 5.80 meter. 5.80 meter. So let me calculate the quantity of second footing on the calculator. Here you will see we are having the length of second footing 5.80 and the breadth 0.50 and the height of 0. Sorry, here we did mistake. 5.8 multiply with the breadth 0.5, then multiply it with the height 0.3, 0.87, then multiply it with the 2 because we are having two long walls. It will give us 1.74. Here you can see we calculated the quantity of second footing 1.74. Now do the brick work required in the foundation of the plinth wall. Here we go to the plan and section. Here in section you can see this is the breadth of plinth wall. This is the plinth wall in which we do the concreting plinth. This is plinth wall. Breadth is 0.4 meter. So you can see we are having the length of long wall 5.30 plus one breadth of the plinth wall is 0.4 meter. Plinth wall having the breadth of 0.4 meter. As we know that the formula for calculating the length is actual length of the center to center of the long wall plus one breadth. This is the one breadth of the plinth wall 0.40. It will give us 5.70. Then we calculate the quantity of brickwork required for the plinth wall. Let me calculate it on the calculator. 5.70 is the length of the plinth wall. Then multiply with the breadth 0.4. Then multiply it with the height. We are having the height of the plinth wall 0.6. Height of the plinth wall is 0.6. It will give us 1.368 and multiply it with the 2 because we are having the two long walls. So quantity of brickwork required for the plinth wall is 2.74. The height was 0.60. I want to show you the height of the plinth wall here. 0.60. You can see 0.60. This was the height of the plinth wall. So we just calculated the brickwork required for long wall in the foundation, and you can calculate it by the same procedure for the short wall. It was just here you will change the formula that from the length we subtract one breadth. In the first footing we are having the breadth of 0.60. We will subtract it from the total length from the center to center. Then the next second footing we are having the breadth 0.50, so we will subtract it from the length center to center to calculate the actual length. And plinth wall we will calculate subtract the 0.40 breadth of the plinth wall from the center to center length of the short wall, and this will give us the actual length of the short wall. So this is how we calculate the quantities of brickwork in foundation by using long wall and short wall method. Then you will go for the sum of this. Try to you calculate these quantities by yourself. I will just add now these quantities. Let me add them. Here you can see first footing for long wall is 2.12 plus 1.74, 1.74 plus 2.74 These were the quantities of brickwork required in long wall. Now we will do for short wall. Add 1.33, 1.33. Actually, we are calculating the total quantity of brickwork required for long wall and short wall in the foundation and plinth. So we added 1.33. Now we'll add 1.14 of the second footing. 1.14 plus 1.87. 1.87. It will give us 10.94 cubic meter brickwork required in foundation and plinth. Next, we will do the calculation of brickwork in superstructure. Above the plinth level, we have the superstructure, and below the plinth level, we have the substructure. We just calculated the brickwork required in the substructure. Now we will calculate the brickwork required in the superstructure. So first we will calculate the length of the long wall. Length of the long wall is, as we know, that center to center length of the long wall. This is the our superstructure wall work, brickwork. Our length of the long wall is 5.30 from center to center. So then we will add the one breadth. As we know that our brickwork in superstructure having the breadth of 0.3 meter. So we will add the one breadth in long wall, but we subtract it in short wall. Here we will add 5.30 plus 0.30, it becomes 5.6 meter. So we are having the length of the long wall required for brickwork in superstructure is 5.60. Now let me calculate the quantity of brickwork required in superstructure for long wall. 5.30, this is, I am calculating the breadth. 5.30, this was the length of center to center plus breadth. Add one breadth. We have breadth for superstructure is 0.30. It will give us 5.6 length for the long wall brickwork in superstructure. Then multiply it with the breadth. We are having breadth 0.30. Then multiply it with the height. Height we are having, I will try to show you here the height. We required height for the brickwork in superstructure is 3.50. So height multiply with the height 3.50. It will give us 5.88. Multiplied with the 2, because we are having two long walls, it will give us 11.76 cubic meter brickwork required in superstructure for long wall. So same, we now calculate the brickwork required for short wall. As we know that length of the short wall is 4.30 from center to center. So we will subtract one breadth for the superstructure, one breadth 0.3 from the short wall, as we know that in short wall we subtract one breadth. So by subtracting one breadth, 4.30 subtract 0.30, it will give us the length of the short wall 4 meter. So let me calculate the quantity required for brickwork in superstructure for short wall. Here you will see 4 into 0.3 into 3.5 height of the wall in superstructure. it will give us 4.2, multiply it with the 2 because we are having the 2 short wall, it will give us 8.4 cubic meter. Now let we add the long wall and short wall brickwork required in superstructure. 8.4 for the short wall, add 11.76 cubic meter work required for brickwork in the superstructure. It will give of the total brickwork required 20.16 cubic meter total brickwork required in the superstructure. So this is how we calculated the quantities of just one room. Next we will calculate the quantities of whole building, but here I want to explain you people that how do we use the long wall and short wall method to calculate the quantities of the building. So after calculating the quantities, you know that we can calculate the price of these quantities. As brickwork, we you can use the same procedure as we already did in the previous lecture, how to calculate the number of bricks. We are having no quantities required in cubic meters, so you can calculate by dividing it with the standard size of the brick, and after that when you will know the number of bricks, then you will multiply with the rate of one brick. If here in Pakistan we are cost 10 rupees for one brick, then we will multiply it with total number of brick with the 10, then we can get the price of required for these bricks. This is how we